Ages and Community Outreach, and she is my friend. So without further ado, we're going to start a great talk on your brain on plants. Here we go. Let's hear it.
What up, what up, what up? Everybody, put your hands together. It's time to learn about your brain on plants. Is anybody interested? Because if you're interested, please take a look. I got a few things I'd like to share with you. But by the time we finish this, my objective is to investigate that connection between biophilic design and neuroscience. Then my next objective is to demonstrate strategies to weave natural elements into commercial environments. And then I'd like to discuss persuasive business cases that link biophilic initiatives to key goals, meaning your key goals, all right? But guess what? I got something else for you. My bonus objective is for you to do this presentation feeling groovy about plants. All right, let's get started. Can you hear that? I'd like everybody to take just 2 or 3 minutes out of your super crazy busy day and just relax. Do you know this song? Everybody knows this song. If you come closer, you can hear it. If you come closer, okay. They're telling me to put the mic here.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. Yeah. Thank you. I'll go around and I'll be back. In 5 seconds. Is everybody relaxed?
Is everybody relaxed? Okay, we're relaxed. All right, let's get moved on. Now that you're relaxed, I want you to understand some of my disclaimers. I will not be talking about your brain on these plants. If you don't recognize those plants, some of them are only used in clinical trials and the other ones are illegal in some states. We're talking about the plants that are legal. Also, topics are not all inclusive. I'm just going to give you a brief snippet of everything. Research is ongoing and persuasive. It's not conclusive. Everyone is different because you're going to look at me and say, well, I don't like that kind of plant. Well, we're different, but we're similar and connected. So please go away with those tips. Now, neuroscience, brain functioning. Does anybody know how your brain functions? It just works, right? We just take it for granted. Our brain processes full body sensory information so rapidly that it's subconscious. You probably weren't aware of that. You probably think that you are conscious of everything you think and do, but you're not. Over thousands of years, humans have developed highly efficient processing systems shaped by evolution. Many of our responses to the environment are automatic and they are deeply rooted in our evolutionary adaptations. So what does this mean? Well, if that's the case, well, what does the environment have to do with our adaptations? So our evolutionary connection to the built environment started about 300,000 years ago. And that's how we live. That's our built environment 300,000 years ago to about 12,000 years ago. Caves, stones, and pretty much trees. We were in the environment 100%. And then we moved to the Neolithic age where we existed from about 2,000 to about 12,000 years ago. And then we started building tents. We started putting our houses together with stones. We started becoming more agricultural based. So our existence became more permanent in spaces, which led us to the left side, which is the modern age of dwelling. Does anybody see a difference between the left side and the right side? In a mere 200,000 years-ish, we've changed the way we've experienced our environment from a almost 100% amount of time in nature to just in the mere 2,000 years recently, of years before present, that we are in structures that separate us from nature. If you notice that most of our structures don't have plants in them, unless you like plants, but if you look at an average office building, especially in the 1970s, they didn't have plants. Okay, so what does that mean to us here standing? Well, we've got this wonderful connection to nature that we lost, but right around 1979, an environmental psychologist decided he'd take a look at it, and Roger Ulrich, in his research discovered that people who looked at pictures of natural scenes felt significantly better than those who saw pictures of urban environments. So he's kind of catching on to something, but this is only 1979, 1980s. We're talking about really relatively recent within our evolutionary existence. And then a little while after that, this next concept came, and it's biophilia, which is a very well-researched theory by an entomologist. He, in his book, Biophilia, proposed that we have a biological, not just an emotional, but a biological connection to other living organisms. And when we don't have it, we don't feel good. We actually become ill. Biophilia has evolved from a theory to a biological idea into a super interdisciplinary scientific research subject. And it covers everything from architecture to psychology, neuroscience, and human health. It covers quite a bit. It's a very, very, very important topic. So, what else happened? Another really important piece of research is the stress reduction theory by Roger Ulrich as well. His paper discovered that viewing nature provides a positive emotion leading to physiological and psychological. So his first paper was more about psychological feelings. The second one was starting to hone in on physiological changes. I'm gonna go back for just a second, if it will allow me. So, the next paper that was very critical in our studies is attention restorative theory, which is ART by Stephen and Rachel Kaplan, and they talked about voluntary direct attention versus involuntary low-cost energy. And what they discovered is that we as humans need both of them, that when we are away from nature, we tend to be on high voluntary direct attention mode all of the time. But when we're in nature, we're in involuntary, which is low energy, and it gives us time to restore. So what you're finding is when we create environments that don't have that natural environment, we're on 100 or 99% all the time because we don't have a mechanism that is subconsciously placed in our environment so that we can subconsciously enjoy the benefits of nature. So now we have the examples of what this looks like. I am going to go through a couple of these, if you like. I see I have a big crowd here. I don't know. Everybody kind of stand back a little. Let's stand back a little.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's getting crowded. It's kind of hot. All right. All right. So this is an example of some of the benefits or the goals that you could reach for, as well as the outcome. So, Brian, what are you interested in? If you had an office building, what would be most important to you? Or a commercial space, what would be important to you? Air quality, all right. Well, these beautiful plants act as a natural air purifier, and they absorb volatile organic compounds and release oxygen. Oh my God. What does that do? Help with respiratory issues and increases comfort. All right. Anybody else? If you had a commercial space, what would be most important to you? You can look at the list. Pick something off the list. If you had a commercial space, what would be important to you? That's a good one. Aesthetic brand. So the aesthetic brand, it makes spaces visually appealing. Does anyone realize that when most people walk past here, they'll take a look at this booth because it looks different than every other booth there, with the exception of our good friends Davey. Every booth in here is different than this one, and it's aesthetically pleasing. So that's a brand marker that will increase if you decide that you want to use plants. It creates a positive impression to your clients and your customers, and it reinforces your company's commitment to what? Health and a sustainable environment. And who is not talking about that now? Everybody's talking about it. Okay. Ladies in the back. Anybody in the back? Hi, ladies. Are you in this presentation? If you had commercial space, what would be most important to you? If you had a commercial space, what would be most important to you? Would it be noise reduction or well-being or economic impact or humidity or air quality? What would be most important to you? Air quality, exactly. So plants, they're great. They're natural purifiers. They absorb the volatile organic compounds. And in addition to that, they also contribute to humidity. So humidity is something that's not often marked or tracked, but it's something that's really important to your environment. Thank you, ladies. So those are some other good examples of what is important to you when you're building a brand or you're making sure that your people are interested and making sure your workers are happy. All righty, go on to the next slide. We got improved on air quality, noise reduction reduced, enhanced mood, dwell time in spaces where people are shopping, as well as your sales go up. All right. So let's talk about a case study. Let's give an example of what this looks like. So this is Tin Fan Pier, Mass Mutual. And you can see our installer was yours truly. It actually won an award for its plant installation. It's a great example of how plants can enhance your commercial space. The ground floor is retail and public plaza, and it has sweeping views of the Boston Harbor right here where we're standing. So what are some of the check marks? Definitely improved air quality, definitely reduced stress, higher sales. Who doesn't like to see that? Higher sales and higher productivity. These are some of the markers that are definitely coming out as positives in this project, and it can do the same for you. Our next case study. This is the Addition Hotel Miami Beach, and a supplier of green plants or green buildings was J. Scott. Now this is actually a resort on a 3.5 acre private campus that stretches way out to the Atlantic. Can you imagine how that guest experience has changed when you have an environment that they dwell in and they sleep in right next to the ocean? So you've got guest relaxation is at a high. You've got reduced noise because, of course, if you got really tall ceilings, you might get echoing. So these plants reduce the noise both acoustically, and we won't say it's significant, but also perception of noise is also reduced. It's not just the actual dBs that are reduced. So when you're in a space like that, you tend to feel like it's calm, it's quiet, and it's somewhere that you'd like to be. The air quality is better, improved air quality. And then of course the ambiance of the space is completely different. Can you imagine this space without plants? Or maybe a plant here and there? It would feel, personally, I would think it'd feel a little sterile without these beautiful plants inside. And they do a great job of setting up a guest experience that once you get in there, you feel like, I'm here. I'm finally on vacation. I'm finally in a lobby with beautiful plants. The air is clean. And I paid a lot to get here, so I'm expecting this. All right, it seems like a no-brainer, right? Plants. Let's put plants in our offices and put plants in our retail spaces. So how do you go about? Well, the first thing you need to do is to align your design team with a biophilic specialist, architect, or interior designer. And that person is going to be able to give you the latest research, give you a very good path or guidelines to how to lay out your design in cooperation with your plants. Please try to avoid hiring this specialist after the building is done. Please consider these people at the very beginning, because just like most building construction, the sooner we get together on how to put it together, the better it'll flow all the way. The next thing you need to do is to collaborate with a great plant organization for resources. And that would be Green Plants for Green Buildings. They will give you incredible amounts of research, and they'll give you the resources you need to help you learn right on your laptop. You don't have to go sign up for a class and go there. They'll give you these resources right online. And then also, they'll be able to connect you with the right people in your area. This is like one-stop shopping for plants and biophilic design. So, step number 2, collaborate with a great plant organization for resources. Step 3, work with your local plant installation company. So once you've got this great design, you make sure that you work with Nathan, or you work with Miss, I don't know, who's this lady that runs this place? Is her name Jan? Oh, yeah, Jan. Work with Jan, Brian, they can get you to the right people. Why is this important? You work with these great organizations under Green Plants for Green Buildings because you're not going to just place the plant in the room and walk away. The plant needs what? What does a plant need? Water, light, love. It does not get it by itself. And don't trust your coworkers to take care of your plants. All right. So it's important that you link up with these people so that they can get you the right plants, get you the right local species, and make sure they are loved, lighted, and watered. Liquid, light, and water. Liquid, light, love. Okay. All right. So from there, I think I've finished what I've had to say today. But I want to make sure, let me ask you these questions. Did I give you fundamental understanding of the connection between neuroscience and design? All right. Biophilic design. Did I begin implementing impactful strategies to weave natural elements into commercial environments? Did I start showing you how that's implemented and gave you case studies? Did I do that? Could I get a thumbs up? Okay, all right. Last, did I help you understand the persuasive business case that links biophilic initiatives to your key goals? Did I do that for you?
Yes.
All right, very good. But last of all, did I make you feel really groovy about plants? Yes.
Can we go back to the slide of
Sure. All right. All right. So these are the implementation strategies. So if you're an owner of a beautiful spa, or maybe you own a car dealership, you want to think what, and this is what the specialist will do with you. You want to think about what's really important. What's important that you want to see come out of the installation of plants. So these are some of the key things that we'll talk about. We'll ask you, well, maybe is it air quality? Because it's kind of, I'm not gonna use that word, but it's kind of not nice in here. Maybe it's economic impact. Is that important to you? That you see an increase in your sales, that you want people to dwell longer in your spaces? Maybe it's noise reduction. Or maybe it's even just the perception of noise reduction, because plants do that from a psychological and an actual decibel perspective. So those are the kind of things that you would look for as far as key goals. Aesthetics. Brand, oh, that is a wonderful thing, because everyone is thinking more about, yeah. Well-being, air quality, okay. Okay. You know, we should. All right.
Maybe I'll circulate that.
She's getting on the phone right now.
Well, I was just we could do a survey of all of our property managers and say, what are your top 3?
All right. Well, if I got the thumbs up that I reached the goal of getting to, thank you for participating. I appreciate it. I want to make sure I got you everything you needed as far as the outcomes are concerned. Have a happy day. Thank you for listening. All 4 of you. 5.